Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Today, I'm going to give you one last shop tour here in my basement. As some of you know, we have moved into a new place and we'll be moving into a new shop. So let me give you that last tour. Heart of my shop is my saw stop table saw. It's got the extension table and the upgraded fence, the Rockler wall mount on the floor dust collector, miter sled, tapering jig, Incra iBox spline sled, Outfeed Table. I have a video on making this DeWalt planer. The cart that this sits on is one of the very first things I ever made. Failed project was we were gonna take this 8-track case and we were gonna convert it into a cassette case. Supertramp. Yes. Side A. One of the best side A's of any record ever. One of these days we're gonna take this record player and we're going to gut it and we're going to give it a wood enclosure. My buddy Pat gave me this record, cut a design out of here someday. Got the baseball bat in case intruders ever come in. This was a project, this little board here, some hand tools and screwdrivers and Forrester bits and scissors and combination squares and hammers and where's my rubber mallet?
I know where it's supposed to go.
It's supposed to go right there. We got the good chisels and then we got the crappy chisels over here. Grizzly 14-inch. My buddy Matt Taylor painted this. I have a video on the painting of this. I love using these for resawing because it's got a nice flat bottom on here and I can grab the boards and it keeps it at a nice 90-degree angle. This is one of the first things I made in this shop. It's just got a laminated pine top. It's got a big old Veritas vise on here. I am building a new bench for the new workshop. It's going to be different than this one, and it's going to be a little bit more modern. There's going to be an electrical outlet built into it. It's going to have a space for a shop vac, and it's going to have a space for an air compressor. Currently, when I go to sand something, I have to bring out the dust collector, I have to grab the sander and bring it over to here, and there are hoses and wires and trip hazards all over the place. I want to get rid of that. I want to have all that condensed right here on the bench. My router table, this is a nice big old table. It has the Rockler top, it has the Incra router lift, and the inside, I'm embarrassed to show you, but this is just a mess. It's got dust collection up top and it's got dust collection down below. I have a video on the making of this router table. There will be a link down below to check that out. Up here on the wall is my clamp collection. I got the Bessie clamps here. These are some of my favorites, these aluminum bar clamps. The wooden hand screw clamps, Harbor Freight F-style clamps. My sanding station, it's got a little place to hold my random orbit sander and some various grits on there. Down below that is drills. This is the cabinet that I made when I took a woodworking class a few years ago locally. I got the Harbor Freight spindle sander. I got the Grizzly little belt sander. Don't use it all that much, but it does come in handy once in a while. I got the Festool miter saw. This thing is great. The dust collection on it is one of the highest rated dust collections on a miter saw. This is my 12-inch disc sander from Harbor Freight. This table is screwed up big time. It's bent and it's no longer flat. I had a piece get wedged in there. My Jet drill press is my Jet lathe. This is my sewing machine that you see me use in every single project. This is a 1971 New Home sewing machine. Old trusty. Can't get enough of old trusty. I've never even plugged it in. This is my CNC. This is the X-Carve by Inventables. This is where the Glowforge used to sit. I've already taken that over to the new house. Over here, we have my Jet drum sander. This thing saves me so much time. It's one of the reasons I'm able to quickly make projects for you folks. That is going into a Rockler wall-mounted dust collector, which I keep on the floor, and same for the bandsaw. Michael at WillWorkForTools bought me this sign that I never got to hang up. Walnut veneer, we got plywood, we got dowels and more plywood and failed projects. You remember the record crates that I made? This should look like this. The CNC at that time screwed up. This was a guitar that I started and I don't remember the reason for stopping. Still have the templates to make another guitar. The Madhouse! It never got hung up, but it's supposed to go over to the new house. My grandfather, he makes these birdhouses. 96 years old, in the wood shop every single day. He makes these awesome little crosses that he gives away and he sends to people all over the world. Eric, do you have one of my grandfather's crosses? He's amazing. He is such a he's such a happy dude. He is a very positive dude and still active, still golfs and woodworks at 96 years old. Love you, Grandpa Picciuto. First I made templates and then I made the different legs using the templates and a router. And this is one of my older videos. It's still around. And Jimmy DiResta, this is before we knew each other and before we had a podcast together, he made something similar right after I made mine. And then he found mine and sent me a message apologizing for ripping me off, even though he never saw my video. He was just saying, hey, it's just a coincidence that we both made shop stools using templates. And then after that started the Jimmy DiResta, David Picciuto love affair. And now we have a podcast called Making It with Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff. That is my shop. It is a basement shop. It's in the shape of a U because there's a furnace in the way, there's a water heater, and then there's a set of stairs over here. And so all of those things interrupt the shop. Let me take a minute to tell you about today's sponsor, and that is Squarespace. This summer, Squarespace has launched 16 new templates to make creating a powerful online identity even easier. Each template is a starting point for a wide range of projects, whether you're pursuing your side hustle or promoting your main gig. Create a beautiful website with Squarespace's all-in-one platform. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. Squarespace provides award-winning 24/7 customer support. It's never been easier to set up a store and sell online. Squarespace allows you to manage your products, orders, and inventory easily. In a previous life, before I was a woodworker, I was a web developer, so I know how much it costs and I know how much of a pain it is to set up a site from scratch. Squarespace makes it quick, easy, and simple to get you up and running without knowing a thing about code, the cloud, or servers. Start your free trial today at Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/makesomething to get 10% off your first order. Let's head on over to where my new shop is going to be. It's going to be in a garage and it's in a big open area. So let's go check that out. So we're moving the shop into this garage right here. It's a simple one-car garage detached from the house. Let's go take a look. It's like a 650 square foot garage, somewhere around there. That's not the exact measurements, but Eric and I, we took down all the drywall from here. I have a crew coming in and they are going to insulate the walls and then put up new drywall. Up in the ceiling here, they are going to put in a drop ceiling. And the reason we're going with a drop ceiling is because I'll have a nice white ceiling that will reflect light, and it will also help control the sound. We're getting acoustical panels, and that's gonna help sound from leaking and coming in. Same with the walls. It's gonna be highly, highly insulated. And so currently there is an attic, but the attic only takes up half the space. And so the crew is coming in and they're going to continue the attic all the way to the other side. And we won't be able to access the attic from inside. We're actually going to build stairs from the outside and we'll access it through this window. And that's just gonna be used for storage. Heating and air conditioning installed. This is a Fujitsu mini split. And this will do the entire garage. For the electric, we installed a sub panel out here. There wasn't one before, and we are running new electric all in the shop. And this is the old electrical units. They're all going to be replaced, but we're putting quads in here, and there's going to be 3 on each wall, 3 quads. The left is going to go to one circuit breaker, and the right is going to go to another circuit breaker, so I can run tools and dust collection on the same one without flipping anything. To put in the new sub panel out there, we had to dig a trench from the other garage below the concrete sidewalk and to there. This would be really cool for a lot of people, but I have no use for it since we installed HVAC, and the insurance company would not insure our house unless we said we would remove this. So this is going to my father-in-law, and he's going to install it into his house. The drop ceiling, which is going to help with sound and heating and cooling and lighting. So the drop ceiling is going to serve 3 purposes. All the walls are going to be highly insulated and drywalled white. So that's going to help bounce light so we get a nice even lighting. The floor, this is going to sound crazy to some, but we are putting carpet on the floor for my new wood shop. And it's not going to be like your normal shaggy carpet. It's going to be the really thin industrial office style stuff, and that's just going to help with sound bouncing around. It's going to help with my feet and back issues, and it's just going to create a nice calm environment. You know, when you walk into a room that's carpeted and has lots of furniture and it just sounds nice and cozy and quiet and it's easy on the ears, that's what I want for this place. The aesthetics of my new shop is extremely important to me, so that's why we're not just putting in the normal drop ceiling, we're putting in the fancier tiles that have the reveal, and they look good. The plan is to not have anything hanging on the walls. The walls are going to be nice and clean. All tools, even clamps, are going to go into drawers. We're building counters all along the outside and a half wall down the middle, and that's where everything is going to go. I don't want the videos to be about the tools. I want it to be about the project. So I'm going to do my best to not have all these tools hanging on the wall. I don't want to have all that stuff on display. I want the focus to be on the project and not the tools themselves. As far as the garage door goes, that construction company, they're coming out in like 2 weeks. They are removing the door. We're building a wall right along the floor here that's going to enclose this room. So there'll be 4 walls. And this will be my backdrop for the workbench. So my workbench is going to be right here, and the wall is going to be the backdrop. So between the wall and this opening is going to be a wood storage closet. And so once the garage door is removed, I am going to build a couple of swinging doors that come out. So you would access that wood storage from the outside by coming in through out there. I know a lot of you are going to be like, why would you remove the garage door? That would be so easy to get things in and out. And the simple fact is that having this garage door, no matter how insulated, is not going to be very efficient when it comes to heating and cooling. Plus, I could use the 4th wall. I don't need a garage door. Everything that we build as woodworkers should be able to be moved through a doorway, a standard doorway. And we have the wide 36-inch doors over here. So no matter how big of a project I build, it should be able to go in and out of this door right here. So as far as dust collection, I am not going to have a central dust collector, sort of like what I have at the other place. I'm going to use the Rockler wall-mounted units and only have 1 or 2 tools hooked up to those. So I'm going to have 2 or 3 of them in the shop. And that is because I don't want ductwork all along being an eyesore in this place. Like I said before, I want this place to be aesthetically inspiring when I come in here. I just don't want to see that ductwork. So I'm going to have a few shop vacs and a few of those Rockler wall-mounted dust collectors throughout the shop. As far as the layout goes, I have a basic idea of what I want, and I'm going to throw a graphic up on screen here of what I'm thinking. And you can plan all day, but you never know where a tool should actually live until you get some use out of it. So this is what I'm going to use as my starting point. And you can see here, this is the counters that I'm going to build around the outside. I got the workbench here, and I got all the big stationary tools and my lighting grid. Let's talk about lighting for a little bit. So in the drop ceiling, I have this grid. So I already have the lights. They will drop right into the drop ceiling. These are 2 foot by 4 foot LED lights. These are phenomenal. It's a nice even lighting throughout. And so I should get a very well diffused, even lighting in my shop. So things that are very important to me in the new shop is it needs to be inspiring. I want it to be aesthetically pleasing when I walk in. It needs to be quiet, and that's why I have the drop ceiling and the carpet. And it needs to be able to hold heating and air conditioning, and it just needs to be a clean, comfortable place. Those are the things that are really important to me. This is going to be my dream shop, so I am going all out. I have the construction crew coming out in 2 weeks, and they are doing most of the hard work. So that is it. That is the old place. This is the new place. I will have videos. I have been putting videos together on, I've been filming the shop renovations and the upgrades. And so I'll have another video coming out on that later, but it goes into more details. So that is it, folks. I'm glad you're joining me in this journey of switching shops. Thank you very much. As always, be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something.